Gentlemen, today I'm going to talk about one trait that many men lack, and it is lack or failure to cultivate this trait that many men end up becoming stepfather without knowing. They get cuckolded. Many men fail paternity tests because they lack this particular trait, and this trait is situational awareness. So today I'm going to talk to you about situational awareness, what it involves, why it's important, and also I'll give you uh, several signs that can indicate to you that a woman is about to leave you. Many men, they walk asleep through marriages, through relationships. And you've seen all those stories of footballers who someone has 5 children. When they go for paternity tests, only 4 are his. These are men who lack situational awareness. Situational awareness is also referred to as perspicacity, is the inability to read the room. I'm going to give you the components of situational awareness, and I'm going to give you a practical application, how you can tell that a woman is about to leave you in your relationship, because many men are blindsided when the women break up with them. So we'll start with a question. Gentlemen, have you ever woken up one morning to find that she is gone emotionally or even physically, and yet you didn't see it coming? You felt completely blindsided. Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever sat there replaying every moment in your head, wondering, how did I miss the signs? Why did I see this coming? So if you are not alone. But here is a hard truth. Women rarely leave suddenly. They live in stages over time, and then they leave long before they physically walk out the door. So if you miss the cues, you will pay the price. You will invest in the wrong person, and you're going to get heartbroken. Okay? It is normally said that men cheat to stay in bad relationships, but women cheat to leave them. Okay? Men can cheat. A man can even cheat one night, can go out there and see other women. And when you surprise him grabbing out of bed while he's sleeping next to his wife, strapping on a lie detector chair, and then ask them, do you love your wife? They'll say that they love their wives and they will pass the lie detector test. But do the same thing for a woman, 9 out of 10 times a woman will fail that lie detector test. Why? It's because women are the gatekeepers of sex. When women give sex, it's either because they genuinely desire that particular man, or because they can no longer stand their current man and are seeking an exit. Rollo tells us in The Rational Male that women are hypergamous by nature and are always scanning the environment consciously or unconsciously, asking themselves, did I choose the right man? So that's a question that is a question that is always replaying in a woman's mind because of their hypergamous nature. So as gentlemen, you must cultivate situational awareness. And situational awareness basically is the disciplined practice of scanning for changes in a woman's behavior, emotional state, and sexual marketplace engagement. Okay? And also interpreting those changes through the lens of hypergamy, evolutionary psychology, and female mating strategy, so that you can anticipate shifts, hold your frame, and also act before you are left, betrayed, or replaced. Situational awareness is what keeps a man from being blindsided when she says, I need some space. Okay? We need some time apart. Situational awareness allows the man to take corrective action. Okay? And that could mean reasserting your frame, reestablishing his mission, or walking away with dignity before being humiliated. There are five key components of situational awareness, and the first one is behavioral monitoring. You must be able to read changes in her behavior, okay? Interest tone, interest level, sorry, tone of voice, and intimacy patterns. John Gottman tells us in Why Marriages Succeed or Fail that contempt, criticism, defensiveness, and stonewalling predict divorce with over 90% accuracy. So when she starts showing you contempt, eye rolling, sarcasm, passive aggressive jabs, that is not nothing. That is an alarm bell. So you need to pay attention. Okay? The second component of situational awareness is what we call social and digital scanning. So you need to watch her social media. When she posts thirst traps, when she starts taking girl trips, or hides her phone, she's signaling sexual availability to other men. In evolutionary psychology, David Bass documents how women often pursue mate switching strategy by emotionally disengaging first, then advertising availability before physically leaving. Okay? So they emotional disengage, advertise availability, and then they leave. Okay? And then the third component is emotional calibration. So, gentlemen, you need to pay attention to micro expressions and emotional shifts. In the female brain, Luan Bresden says that women have a hyperactive limbic system and are constantly scanning the environment for higher value men and improved survival conditions. So if she becomes colder towards you but warmer towards male friends, she is running a cost benefit analysis and you may be losing. So pay attention. The fourth component is hypergamy awareness. Okay? Hypergamy doesn't care, as we have said earlier. She will always be subconsciously scanning for the highest value man she can pair with. Your job is to remain that man or risk being quietly replaced. The fifth component is self checking. So you need to constantly ask yourself, am I holding frame? Am I still building and leading? Or have I slipped into better behaviors? Okay, like being overly available, seeking validation, making my mission, and so on. Ryan Stone tells us in the 9 laws that the masculine imperative is to remain on your purpose. Lose your purpose and you lose her respect. Now, most of us fall into the blue pill trap. When you're young and blue pilled, you fall hopelessly in love. And once fallen hopelessly in love, you experience that intoxicating honeymoon phase, the dopamine rush, the magical connection, the feeling that she is the one. And then one day, she starts acting strange. She asks for space. And then what happens next? She leaves. And you're devastated. You're ready to do anything to bring her back. You beg her, you kneel, you simp, but she's gone. And she is not coming back. I've dealt with men who are on the verge of suicide because a woman left them. Okay? They don't come back. Once a woman has calibrated you in terms of her hypergamy imperatives and she leaves, they don't come back. And if she comes back, she's coming to finish the job. So this is not random. This is not fate. This is a behavioral strategy. Okay? So when you look at the money branching network, there's a book called When Men Behave Badly, written by David Bass again. He describes male switching strategy as one of the primary reasons women leave relationships. So women know that any man is better than no man. Okay? So they keep you as they look for a better man to monkey branch to. And many men will even cheat to test the waters, will even before leaving. I mean, many women will cheat to test the waters before finally leaving. The monkey branching requires that they confirm that the next branch is actually better than the current one before they move. So testing may actually involve cheating. Okay? And this is why they keep the beta orbiters around in WhatsApp, in social media, in the office. All these guys are around. They could be in the friend zone. They could be, I've talked about the plan B men earlier. They could be smashing occasionally and so on. She just needs to make sure that they're in place so that if in case she needs to pivot, then she can go. And she'll have actually weighed their options carefully. So what men get wrong, like when they are left particularly, is they fail to realize that being in a relationship actually means that you have some value, you have some qualities. Maybe you have good looks, maybe it's your ambition, maybe it's your confidence, your charisma, or your game. But you did something right that got her attention and got you into that relationship. But once we start start the relationship, many men lose the plot after securing the relationship. They stop holding frame, they lose all their good qualities, they become predictable, they become beta males. They start simping and they make the woman the mission instead of staying on their mission. So once you do that, your beta traits they creep up. You become needy, you lack self-drive, you become over available, and every time you fail a shit test, her attraction drops. This is a cardinal rule of relationships. Never make a woman the sole focus of your existence. Because the moment you do, she loses respect. Okay? And there's a cause for losing frame. When you hang around like a lapdog, she reads this as lack of ambition. When you complain or seek sympathy, she reads this as weakness. And sympathy and attraction do not coexist. Okay? Sympathy and attraction do not coexist. Those are desire or attraction killers. Okay? You want a woman to be feel sorry for you and also find you attractive. It does not work like that. So discuss your problems with fellow men if you have a lot of problems. If you want sympathy, you want understanding, the men are going to do that for you. If you get fat, or you lose your strength, or you develop the dreaded dad bod, the pot bellies, or you stop chasing excellence, you are actively sabotaging your own sexual marketplace value. And there are consequences for that. Women are wired to seek the strongest mate. And strongest mate here is physically, emotionally, and mentally. So you lose that, and you will start scanning the environment for someone who has not lost those qualities. So now that we're talking about situational awareness, how can you tell when a woman is about to leave you? Okay? Women normally leave breadcrumb trails when they're about to leave. And these are some of the most common red flags. The first one is sex life flatlines. Okay? She's going to either deny you intimacy or give you starfish sex, or she'll perform what Dr. Buzz says in evolutionary psychology, sexual disengagement. So this is a precursor to mate switching. So first is the sexual flatline, then there is a phone secrecy. Okay, she'll hide her phone, or she'll put it face down, or suddenly she has passwords that you don't know. In Anatomy of Love, Helen Fisher describes this as triaging attachment bonds. Okay, so triaging attachment bonds. This means pulling away from you while emotionally investing in someone else. Phone secrecy. The third one is rising disrespect. She becomes argumentative. She uses an aggressive tone while speaking to you, or she emasculates you publicly. This is often post-infidelity contempt. Okay, and Gottman's research shows contempt is the number one predictor of divorce. So rising contempt is a red flag. She's on her way out. And then also mysterious gifts will start appearing. You suddenly realize she has a new perfume, new jewelry, new handbags with no explanation. Okay, brother, if you see this, Those are not lucky discounts that she got from the supermarket. Those are investment tokens from another man. The fifth one is provocative dressing. If suddenly she starts dressing like she's auditioning for Instagram reels, her cleavage is popping out, her thighs are on display, that is not self expression, as they'll tell you. That is sexual marketplace re entry. Okay? The sixth one is social media thirst traps. And when they start posting provocative photos, cryptic captions, and selfies designed for validation, she's not just expressing herself, as she'll tell you, she's advertising herself. Okay? The seventh one is frequent absence and trips. So, girls' trips, strange funerals, long weekends away, those are red flags. Those are what David Bass calls the arsenal of mate switching strategy. So she's exploring alternatives while she's still benefiting from your provisioning. The eighth one is emotional withdrawal. So she no longer shares her day, her feelings, or her worries. Gottman calls this stonewalling. Okay? One of the four horsemen of relationship breakdown is stonewalling. Then there is also the ninth one is loss of playfulness. So she's no longer teasing you, no more laughing, no more flirting. Esther Perel tells us in Mating in Activity that when play dies, desire dies. And once desire dies, departure follows. The 10th one is new social circles. Suddenly, she has new friends that you don't know. They become her main influence. Okay? She'll even tell you what they're saying and what they think about certain things. Okay? Usually, they're the ones who are whispering, you deserve better. They're the ones who will be telling her, you deserve better. The 11th one is future talk stops. She no longer talks about your future together. There'll be no more we should do this. Now it will be I statements. Instead of saying when we buy a house, she will now be talking about when I do this or when I do that. Linguists call this identity individuation. Okay? She's separating her future from yours. So when future talk stops, when she moves from we to I, that is a red flag. She's on her way out. And then there's also the financial independence spike. She opens her own bank account or starts her own side hustle without involving you. That's not about empowerment. That is an exit fund. The 13th one is a glow up phase. So, glow up phase, new hair, new gym membership, cleaner diet, all at once. This is what red pillars call the pre exit makeover. Okay? She's upgrading her sexual marketplace value before she hits the market again. So, glow up phase, if you see this, pay attention, it's a red flag. Then they also become secretive about their locations. She becomes vague, like, you ask her, where are you? I'm just out with friends. Her time is no longer accounted for, okay? Because she doesn't want you to account for it. She's just out with friends because if she tells you where she is and you turn out at that place, what you'll find may be something that will crush you. So she'd rather not tell you. The 15th one is emotional outsourcing. So she gets validation from male friends, co-workers, or work husbands. These are the men who are your replacements in training. Okay? So emotional outsourcing is a very big red flag. 16th one is a constant criticism. So she's always criticizing you. Everything you do is not right. You're driving too fast. You're braking too roughly. Okay? Suddenly, even how you chew annoys her. Okay? Gottman research shows that criticism is a first step to contempt, which precedes emotional disengagement. The 17th one is manufacturing drama. So she'll pick fights out of nowhere. This is called preemptive distancing. She's making you the villain to justify living. Okay? We normally say that before a hyena, when a hyena wants to eat her children, she gives them a bad name. So when a woman wants to leave you, she villainizes you by criticizing you first, and then it will justify her exit. 18th one is phone addiction. She's always texting. She's always online, but not with you. So if she smiles at her phone, but rolls her eyes at you, you already know what's going on, guys. I don't need to say more. 19th one is a zero effort mode. She stops cooking, cleaning, dressing up for you. She's mentally conserving her energy for the next man or for the alpha. Zero effort mode. Pay attention. Don't be asleep. Number 20 is the language shifts to I. We already talked about this. Okay. I'm thinking of moving. Okay. That's a code word for I'm planning my exit. 20th, 21st, comparing you to other men. Okay? When she tells you, my coworker fixes things around the house. My coworker took his kids to this and this place. My colleague thinks this and that. My colleague said this, my colleague. This is called pre-selection priming. She's conditioning you to accept the idea that she deserves better and that they're actually better men than you. Those are the men she's comparing you with. And lastly, your gut screams at you. Men ignore this one the most. Malcolm Gladwell in Blink shows that we often know the truth subconsciously before we can articulate it. Okay? Trust that instinct. I'm sure Samson of Manoah, in his gut, he knew that Delilah was going to destroy him, but he ignored his gut. So if you ignore these flags, gentlemen, you're setting up yourself for the ultimate ambush. So how do you deal with this? Situational awareness. So first you must unplug from the comforting lies. Okay? You must face the hard truth. I'm going to do a video about the hard truth that all men must confront. Make yourself your mental point of origin. Okay? And make your mission come first. Build, create, and conquer. Masculinity is about direction. It's not about dependence. If she leaves, remember there are 3.9 billion women on the planet. She is replaceable. But first, you must become the man who is not easily replaced. As Rich Cooper tells us in the Unplugged Alpha, do the work. The burden of performance is yours as a man. So in closing, gentlemen, ask yourself, where in your life are you ignoring the warning signs? Which behaviors are silently killing her desire? Are you building a life that she wants to be part of, or are you waiting for her to validate your existence? So drop your thoughts in the comment below and let's have this conversation before another man has it with her while you're still wondering what went wrong. I'll see you in the next one. Gentlemen, if you found value in this video, do me a solid. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share this with another man who needs to hear it. Here is why it matters. When you like and subscribe, YouTube pushes this content to more men out there who are struggling silently. So your simple click could be the reason another man wakes up to his reality. You could actually save a life by doing so. And for you who has already watched, subscribing makes sure you never miss these lessons. Every week, I'll be dropping strategies, red pill truths, and survival frameworks that will help you to stay sharp, stay sovereign, and ahead of the curve. So subscribe, like, share, because when one man wins, we all rise.